Okay, we'll wait for 1 more minute and then we'll start. Okay, we'll start the session. So yesterday we have discussed about the EPM reporting part, which is including creation of a report and using the view formats and the edit report option. And in the option section, we have seen context options, and in sheet options we have seen 1 or 2 options. And as we discuss, we will discuss now with respect to some complex reporting, which will include your EPM functions, usage of EPM functions. In order to bring anything into the BPC system, you can use equal to EPM. If you see here, there are lot of EPM functions are there, but generally these are not useful for us because right now we are creating the reports directly in the BPC system. Why SAP has supported all these EPM functions is because 7.5 is having everything built on EV formula basis. In order to support those formulas and migrate 7.5 to 10, they need to have a equivalent formulas in BPC 10 also. That's why they have maintained those many formulas in BPC 10 also. But for our reporting purposes, major portion will be covered through edit report section. Apart from that, we'll discuss what are all the additional features that is required when we are working in the template creations. So right now we'll try to create one rolling forecast template. How the rolling forecast template will work is, suppose if I am doing a forecasting or anything what you can call forecasting, budgeting, if I am doing a rolling forecast, that means suppose if I am in May month, that means 1 minute. Suppose if I am in May month, for me Jan to till April I am already having actual data, and only from May to December I need to forecast it. Why we need to do the forecasting? In in normal thing, we will be generally doing planning, budgeting and forecasting. People will use these terms in the planning scenarios. What is plan means? When we are doing the plan for the next year, we will be doing so many iterations of plans like P1, P2, P3. After so many changes, so many iterations, one version, that is final version P0, will be copied, and that is called budget, which is freezed for the next period. Always the budget will be freezed. And in your actual scenario, what will happen is there might be a situations because of the dynamics of the market or any conditions. Due to that, you constantly review your budget and forecast it based on the budget which you have proposed. In those cases, people will do a rolling forecasting Either it will be monthly rolling forecast, quarterly or half yearly. That depends upon the company's frequency of doing the forecasting. Suppose we take a monthly rolling forecast template. Then what they will do is they might have budgeted for say 12,000 as their sales. And in the middle of the year, say suppose if I am in May month, I want to do rolling forecast, and till January to April I have sold only 2,000. Based on that I have to estimate it properly that I can reduce the forecast value compared to my budget, and I'll try to achieve that forecasted target. So in the middle of the periods, generally people will do forecasting in order to analyze the current situation, or else they'll compare the budget with the present actuals, and then based on that they will try to achieve the budget, or they will try to reduce their budget depending upon the situation. So they will be doing the forecasting frequently, so in order to reach till the budget level. Every time they can compare the budget version with forecasted version and actual version in order to know how much we are targeted and how much we have achieved, and how can we achieve the balance target in the balance forecasted months. These kind of analysis people will do. So for those purposes we need to know the rolling forecast template. What is meant by rolling forecast is, suppose if I am working in May month, Jan to April I will be having actual data, and May to December I will be doing the forecasting. And similarly, if this is becoming June, then what happens? I will have Jan to May data will be available, and then June to December should be my rolling forecast. So your template should be dynamic enough. Based on the month selection by the end user, it has to show till that month actuals, and from there it needs to show forecast, and actual should be locked so that end user will not change, and only it should allow the forecast values to be entered by the end user. Like this we need to bring a template with validations, conditions, and the actual data should not be tampered by the user, and based on the selection automatically the rows should change from actual to forecast or forecast to actual depending upon the requirement. So to build those things we need to use certain EPM formulas as well as certain Excel formulas in order to support that requirement. That we will see it now using the rolling forecast template. Now we'll create a new report. I'll just take one of the sample thing, account and time. Then I'll take 1 month. And I'm taking only ID. Okay, there is something data like this. Okay, now I want to see actuals should be appearing, and as well as the plan or budget or forecast, whatever you call, should be appearing for the balance month. For that purpose, what I need to do, I need to bring my category also into my column access. Move to column access. Here to select context member. I'm adding some of the rows on top in order to build my formulas. Now there is a formula that is there in the BPC system called EPM context member. So you press equal to and then put EPM, then you can select the formula, double click it and put FX. Here you need to specify the connection name. Connection name will automatically taken by the system, and what dimension value you want. I want time because user will be selecting the time values. If we select May month, till May it should show actuals. So for my criteria, the end user selects time value. So I need to know what is the time member that is selected in the context by the end user. So I'm using that. Okay. And second thing is, for me actual is constant. So I'm taking the constant value because at any point of time in the middle of the year you will have some actuals which is fixed, and whatever you are choosing from the context, only that context value will change. So I need category also from the context. EPM context member, what dimension value I need? Category. So presently it is selected as actual. That we will change it. We'll change it to plan. Okay, now system will automatically change the value to plan. Suppose if I am taking here 2013.February, system automatically changes the value to 2013.February because I have used EPM context member. Whatever the context member I am selecting, system should display that member because I want to do based on the selection criteria the user is making from the context. So this is the first step where I am using the EPM context member formula. And then the next step is, this is the normal Excel formula. I am taking left, this is the text. I want first 5 characters and then I want 01 because always my year starts with first month, that is 01. So the naming convention will be 2013.01 because I am taking the first 5 characters, I am taking it from the system. Sometimes it will not help, so you make it as 01. Or else take first 4 characters and then 0.01. Replace old text, starting number 5, number of characters 1. So like this we can take the formula. If left is not working, we can take the same formula here. What I am saying, replace the current value, that is B2. What is the current value which is selected from the context? B2, which is always constant. So you can make it as constant using your normal Excel formulas. And then starting number 5, I want to remove that values. Number of characters total is there 6, so I am removing that. And I am replacing with new text called 01. So I will get the first month related nomenclature, that is ID. And from next month onwards, I have a EPM function called EPM member offset. Press FX. What member I need to offset? That is 2013.0Y. Yeah. Dinesh is having a question, what is starting number 5? Starting number 5 means from 5th number onwards I am replacing the values. 2013 is the 4 digits. After that I am using new values, that is 0.01, which is the new values. So starting number which should replace is after 5th digit, that is after 4th digit. Okay, so I am selecting the D2 member and then offset is 1. That means next month I need to select. So it will show you the next month value. Similar way you copy it to the 12 months. So till the last month you copy for the 12 months. Now I am having the current period which is selected by the user. From that I am arriving the first month and then I am offsetting that first month with the next months. Then I can use my normal native Excel formulas if the current selection by the user is greater than this value, then it is actual, otherwise it is plan. So like this I am selecting. So here these things are constant, so I am using the normal Excel functionalities to make it as static. So B2 was also static. Now 2013.02 is greater than 01, that is why it is showing constant actual. So copy the same formula for all the months. Now if you see here 2013.02 is not greater than this, that is why it is showing plan. Similarly, if I make this as say June, till now come till May, it is automatically taking as actual value. Now based on the user selection, system is automatically considering actual data and the other months is showing as plan data where the end user can do the planning. Here, but in our format, this is our column structure. This is called column structure, which we discussed. This is called row structure. We need to attach this column structure which we have defined to the column structure by EPM formula which is provided by BPC system. So in order to attach that, we have a simpler way of doing that. That is EPM VOLAP member formula. To attach this link to this, after the brackets, you place your cursor and put the link there. Whichever cell you want to replace the value, and then put comma. There is something called open parenthesis here. What is open parenthesis refers to is whatever from the context where you are selecting from the row access and column access, you need to take that value. Since we are replacing that context value or whatever the report editor value with D2, we should remove this value so that it will take the value which we have selected. So I have taken the open brackets out. Press OK. Now system will automatically take whatever is there in the D2 value instead of the report editor column value. Now copy this to similar way, make the change towards the category also. Assign the value and then remove the open brackets. Enter. So now system is taking these details. Copy till the last month. Press enter. Now come here and refresh the data. Put edit report, options, show all line items wherever the data is there. Now if you see here, I am able to see whatever the changes I have made on the top is reflecting into my column access also, because I have linked my whatever the calculated values using the Excel formulas and PPC formulas, I have linked it to my EPM OLAP member formula. This is called assigning the values which as per your requirement. Now if you see here, it is showing the data for actuals. Now it is showing the data for plan. Now if the end user selects, again say March. Say March. System will automatically take actual data only till second month and plan data for next month onwards. So in order to see the data values, we'll just input some data and see whether it is displaying the data correctly or it is just taking the values ad hocly. So I will put from March month onwards in the plan section. 200. Okay. I have taken these values and I am saving the data. Okay. I think we have some validations on that, so I am not taking that value. I'll take Germany. I'll try to input some data here. 1000, 2000. And I'm saving, say, 111 in actual and 222 in actual, just to understand how the system is working, whether it is properly taking the data values or not. Okay, I'll just check. I'm just removing the security. When we are discussing on the security, I'll again explain how the security will work. Dinesh is having a question, do we need to log the actual values? Yes, Dinesh, we need to log the actual values. That also we will see once we develop this template. So I have kept some validations also. I'll remove the validation. Okay, we'll input some values, and here also we'll input 9 nines, 4 nines, and then save data. We will discuss the validation separately after this class. At that time, I will clearly tell you how to enable and how to disable all those things. Okay, now when we are storing the data, we are storing against plan version. For first 2 months, we are storing against actual version. Now, if we want to see the data accuracy, I'll select June. Then what system should show? System should not show these 3 months plan data. Now refresh. See, system is not showing this month's data because these are actual data which we have not entered. We have entered only the plan data. I'll try to enter some values. Say 11, 22, 33. Save data. Okay. Now I have made actual data also till May month. Now if I select, say I'll select till October. So what its system should show? Till September it should show actual data for which I have not entered the data. Only till May I have entered the data. For plan, the rest of the 3 months, which should be allowed for the end user to change the values. Now again, if I come back and select March, system should show only 2 months actuals, rest of the months plan data system should show. So whatever here we maintain, that is automatically taken here, and also the value stored is also bringing with respect to plan data only, and our template is working properly. Hemang, you are saying system refresh is very slow or very fast? Are you able to see the screen with differences? Oh, is it? Okay. Now are you able to see the data properly? The 2 months actuals and the rest of the 10 months are showing plan data. Yeah, sure. Next time onwards, I'll try to be little slow whenever I am clicking on the transaction. Okay, I see. The delay is there in the screen. Okay. I'll just wait for 1 more minute before I move to the next screen. So till now, everyone is clear, right? Because there was some disturbance with respect to the screen. So now everyone is clear how the system is performing the plan data and actual data properly. Okay. So this is one of the things which we need to develop, including the PPC and Excel formulas. Now it is not over, because once the data is there in the actuals, the end user should not be allowed to change the value. Now if you see here, if I change the land and buildings value to say 777 and save data, system is saving the data, but in actual scenario, actual data should not be edited by the user. It should be pulled from your transaction system, which should be in non-editable format. In order to make this as a non-editable format, yesterday we'll use the formatting section in order to enable some of the member level formatting. So go to view formats. I am enabling the dimension member level formatting. And I am specifying formatting on a specific member or a property. Select that particular checkbox, select add member or property. Now here I have 4 screens. One is member selection. If I want to create any of the formatting based on the property, I can select by property wise, and for local members also I can select a different formatting, and for multiple selections also I can select a different formatting. Yes, Hari. It is still very slow. Okay. Just give me a minute. Uh, I'll stop the screen sharing. Again, I will connect it back so that hi everyone. Now you are able to see my screen. So it is in the EPM formatting sheet. Select member or property screen. So everyone is seeing the same screen. Okay, thank you. So now, as we discussed, we want to maintain a member level formatting. If we want a property level also, we can maintain. If we want local member level also, we can maintain. Multiple members also, we can maintain. But for me, right now, I want to maintain based on category. For category actual, I want to close the values. So that is why I'm selecting actual. Now see that actual has been displayed here. Now if you want, you can maintain whatever the coloring or whatever you want, you can maintain here. Home. I think here from this particular screen it is very slow. If I am logging from another remote desktop, it is very slow. System is very slow. I think some issue with the server. So I am just making it into a different color. I'll just log off and log in again through this RDP. So I am giving a different color coding, and I am giving data a different color coding, and I am putting EPM lock selected cells. So now again, if you right click EPM, see, now you can unlock the cells. Now it is locked. That is why it is in the grayed out status. Now go to your template. Come to EPM, refresh the template. Go to the edit report. options, apply dynamic formatting. Now see, the system has changed the data values to different color. Now if I select from here, say June month, system automatically changes the color. Press refresh. Now see, system is taking till actual the May month and it is changing the color of the data also, so that user will be notified that this is actual data and which is in the different color. But still, if you see here, I can able to edit the changes of the actual data, which I should not be allowed. When I checked through view formats, I just locked the cells and I have given a different color coding. In order to take these locks into effect, we need to do a step in the BPC system. Go to options, sheet options, sheet options, protection, protect active workbook. Once you protect your workbook, what it happens is it will log the cells which are actual data, which we have configured through view format section. Now you try to edit any of the things here. Ganesh is having a question, is it not possible to bring the actual data from the source system? Yes, Ganesh, that is what we are saying. Always the actual data will be pulled from your actual source system, whatever it might be, either through flat file or through data manager loads. That we will see when we are talking about the data load functionality. Before that, we need to see how the system reporting will work when we load the data, how to use the system to generate the reports and see the data and all. I think today's system is not at all working properly. I just wanted to show you this. No hurry. See, if you look into the SAP architecture, even if you want SAP data to come into your ECC system, you have to do the data load. Otherwise, how will you get the data into your BW system? SAP system is a separate system and BW is a separate system. So how the data will automatically flow, and your SAP transaction data will have so many fields, and that is not required towards BW, and BW will have lot of fields that is not required in BPC. So when we are bringing the data from one system to another system, we will maintain certain transformations and conversions, which is the normal process. Like how you bring the data from ECC to BW with so many transformation, conversions, routines, the same way from BW to BPC also we will maintain transformations, because we need data only towards what are there in our dimensions, not all the data which you have in ECC system. I don't know, system is not all working. It got struck up totally. Now are you able to see the screen? Now if I try to change the 333 values to 444. See the error message, the cell or chart you are trying to see is only read-only data. You cannot enter any data. So that is why once we maintain the view formats and then actual, and then if we maintain from options, sheet option, the report is protected, then it is, you cannot enter the data in the actual category. Now try to change the plan values. Oh, screen refresh is very slow. I think for me also, if I am using another remote desktop, it is very slow. Screen is getting locked. And here if I am using, it is pretty slow when it is showing in your screens. Because these are very important things. What I suggest is we'll stop the session for today and we'll meet in our next class where we can discuss in detail again the same thing, because with these kind of breaks it is very difficult to understand, because these are the complex reporting which we are covering right now in this particular thing. And yes, for me, I don't want everyone to lose this particular thing, because these are very important thing which you will encounter in any project. And these are the complex reporting things which we are seeing. After this we will be discussing the EPM formulas and all. So for that purpose, I tried to continue the class, but somehow it is not working. So what I say is I'll cancel this session and we'll meet in our next class, so that we can come back fresh, and then if system is properly working, then we can see screen by screen without much difficulty. Yes. So somebody is having some questions. So if somebody wants to listen to those questions, they can stay back. Otherwise, you can leave, so that we will not be continuing this class anymore. So we will be covering the doubts if anyone is having. So according to your wish, you can stay or you can leave. And Dinesh is asking. Yeah, Dinesh, you have some questions, right? You can ask. Okay. Yeah, Ganesh, you can ask the question, Ganesh, no problem. There is no specific document as of now. When it was very old, I have a document on 7.5 to 10, but now I don't have that in my repository. You can search it in Google, because there are very minute differences with respect to the terminology changes. And with respect to the EPM, whatever the screens you are seeing, there is a drastical change that has happened from 7.5 to 10. Some terminology changes that has happened, which we have discussed in our demo, the main terminology changes. And the screens with respect to web GUI, the web administration, there is lot of change from 7.5 to 10. and lot of options where we need to do the enabling everything from the 7.5. That everything they brought it into the model itself, where you can select using a checkbox. All those options are not available in 7.5. So with respect to web GUI and Excel reporting part, there are a lot of changes that has happened, and terminology changes we have covered in our demo session. What are all the major terminology changes that has happened between 7.5 to 10? Yeah, Sandeep is a question from the perspective of certification, which one is more relevant, 10 or 10.1? As far as I say, 10 is more relevant, because even though 10.1 has been released, there are a lot of drawbacks from 10.1, which we are seeing when we are doing consulting, because 10.1 only works on HANA, and so many companies are not going for HANA database only simply because they want to have a planning system. Because it's too expensive, so still everyone is preferring 10. That is the first disadvantage for 10.1. And second disadvantage is 10.1 is only having planning system, and there is no consolidation in place in the 10.1. So some clients who are wanting to have unified solution for planning and consolidation, not at this point of time, but later also, if they want to integrate planning and consolidation, they cannot do it in 10.1. That is another also a major drawback from the client perspective, I am saying. And the third thing is the 10.1 still is not a stabilized version, because there are a lot of problems that are happening, because whatever you are doing it from the front end, in the BPC front end, everything back end it is creating as a cubes. But in 10.1, you need to create everything from the back end like a BW consultant. And there are a lot of integration problems, technical problems, reporting problems are still happening. And SAP, as far as I know, they are saying that 10.1 by December end, this year December end, they will try to make error free, and they will release another version with service packs or something. That's what we are hearing from 10.1 perspective. So at this point of time, if you ask me, 10 is the stabilized version which every client is looking for. Even when we go for any of the RFPs also, everyone is asking 10 only. 10.1 I have not seen anybody asking because of these three issues. Migration, I have to look for any document that is available for migration from 7.5 to 10. If anything is available, then I will forward it to you, Dinesh. Because frankly speaking, I never worked on 7.5 to 10 migration. Yeah, Ganesh, with respect to the implementation project small roadmap, we have covered it in our demo session. What are all the high level implementation steps that will be involved in a BPC project? So if you go through that BPC demo presentation, that high level steps, and then if you go through session 1, session 2, session 3, we are going by step only in the same process how the implementation happens. Sandeep is having a question. Do you think there are major functionality differences between 10 and 10.1? Yes, Sandeep, there are quite major changes that is happening from 10 to 10.1, because 10.1 everything will be driven through web GUI, where you are creating dimensions on front end and system is automatically creating in the back end. But when you talk about 10.1, it is everything you need to create from the back end in order to create a queue, in order to create a master data. You have to create info objects and you have to activate it. It's like normal BW job. Along with that, they are giving the input templates with certain other functionality called planning layouts and all. So conceptual wise and the implementation wise, there are a lot of changes between 10 and 10.1. and 10.1 only supports HANA database. So whenever you are working from the backend BW perspective also, you should have a HANA knowledge to activate the things from the BW perspective. Divakar is having a question regarding access the BPC template in BO. Do we need any settings like access to external system? Yeah, when we are talking about access, first of all, we need to make this as a source data. If you see here, use as source data for other systems. So when this particular cube is created in the backend, if you select this, system will enable this data cube as available for other systems to connect this to this system, and you can use this particular data. This activity needs to be performed at the model level, which is nothing but a cube in your BW system. Yeah. Okay. I think Divakar, I answered your question. And Ganesh, my client is going for implementing BPC. I need to know how to kick off in terms of requirement, system configuration and all. Yeah, Ganesh, that is what I'm saying. If you go through our material or demo, we have given the high level steps, how to use the thing, what are all the high level implementation steps and all. And with respect to the requirements and all, see, unless we learn the basics, after that what are all the things that are available in the system, you cannot directly go for a kickoff meeting and say that these are all the things that are available. That it cannot be possible unless we understand the basics and then what are all the things that are involved in the BPC system, and then only we can go and present it as a kickoff presentation. Dinesh is having a question, any specific config we want to use 10.0 with HANA? No, Dinesh. If we want to use 10.0 with HANA at present, even our project is having a 10.0 with HANA only. There is no additional configuration that is required. Only thing, when you are using 10.0 with HANA, all your calculations and retrieval of data will be fast as per your HANA database thing. Nothing with respect to any of the configuration changes, nothing will be there with respect to HANA or your normal BW system. Sandeep is having a question, does BPC support kind of workflow system? It is not properly like your ERP system workflow, because what happens is your ECC system is meant for mainly doing the transaction level details, where each line item will be stored. But when it comes to planning or consolidation, we are nowhere concerned about the dates, individual dates or SLAs. These are not concerned about the consolidation system, because we are doing the consolidation or planning on a monthly basis and with a set of activities that are there. So in BPC, the workflow, a combination of data looking, will be called as work status. That we will discuss separately. There is something called work status. This is the thing, which will work as a kind of a workflow like ECC system with a combination of locking facility. Yeah, view. When you are talking about model, there is optimization. That optimization is like your normal BW optimization. See, when you have optimized, there is something called light optimization and full optimization. Light optimization is just like your normal BW indexing. It will just index the database so that your performance will be little faster when it is retrieving the data. It is normal your BW indexation. If you talk about full optimization, what it will do is it will suppress the minus figures, plus figures, and it will make the database with the latest data that is available. If you have minus 1000 and plus 1000 for the same combination, and it will suppress that data and it will make it as one record as zero record. So like that, like your normal BW, it will do the full optimization where data will be compressed and made it into a singular line items. Wherever the deletion is possible, it will delete the thing. And when you are doing the full optimization, system will change the technical name of the cube. So SAP suggests use the multi-provider when you are connecting it to the other sources like BEX and BO systems. Because when you do the full optimization, system changes the technical name of the cube. So once the technical name changes, all your BEX queries which are linked to a technical name and BO system which is linked to a technical cube name will get affected. That is why use the multi-provider. And from SP 13 or 14 onwards, SAP suggested that you can use something called there is one checkbox is there in your BW system. You can go to the backend and you can enable, which they have provided from SP 14 onwards. I'll check and I'll let you know from in our next class. If you activate that, then the technical name of the cube will not change, but that is for fresh implementations. If you are going for an existing implementation, the same thing, what you have to do, you have to first drop the data and then make the configuration changes and then again load back the data. So you have to choose what you want to do. That is from SP 13 or 14 onwards, they have enabled that activity. Dinesh is having a question. So BW remains as it is when we have HANA and BPC 10. Yes, from BPC 10 perspective, whether it is a HANA database or your normal database, it doesn't have any problem because we are not creating anything from the backend. Only if it is 10.1, where you are not creating any of the models, dimensions from the front end, you have to work everything from the backend, then you have to know the HANA database. But from 10.0 on HANA, it doesn't make any difference for us. Kamlesh is having a question. We will tackle in one of our class on key figure can only be one in model and COPA has many value fields, how to handle it. Yeah, after doing all these discussions, when we are doing our demo on planning, we'll discuss if there are additional fields like quantity and all, how to handle that. That we'll see in our last class when we are discussing on the demo part. Sandeep is having a question. Typically, what should be the structure of the project? Where is the data needs to be retracted? See, typically the project structure for BPC will be, you will be getting your actuals from ECC system. Based on that, either you will be planning or forecasting or budgeting in the BPC system. That is for planning purposes. For consolidation, actuals you will be getting from ECC system, and based on that, based on the business rules, maintenance and accounting principles, you will be doing the consolidation activities and you will be arriving at a consolidated balance sheet, which is at a group level. That is for consolidation purposes. So when it talks about retraction, SAP standard, by standard, there is no retraction process. Only you have to enable through a baddie only. The team structure we have discussed in our demo clearly. What is the team generally, typically for a planning project and typically for a consolidation project. View is having a question. So multiple requests to be compressed. Yeah, if you are doing full optimization, once the data reaches certain level, then system will perform the full optimization. Then your indexing and the compression will happen. Divakar is having a question. can you let me know major differences between 10 and 10.2? There is no 10.2 as such. Major differences means everything architecturally, everything has been changed. I cannot say major differences. Architecture fully changed. So now you are doing the input templates and all. There it is called as planning layouts, and you have to create the queries in order to execute the planning layouts. So everything is totally changed. Screen by screen, there is no identification also. Dinesh is having a question, can you bring all the reports from 7.5 when you upgrade to 10? As I said, Dinesh, I don't have a migration related knowledge, but as far as I know, you can migrate all the 7.5 to 10, but certain EV formulas which are required to create EV related templates, certain formulas cannot be migrated when you are migrating it to 10. So if your existing templates is having that formulas, then all those templates needs to be recreated in 10. Till that I know, but I'm not sure on other things with respect to migration. There is something called, if you go to more, there is something called EVDRE migration. So once you enable the migration system, then you can migrate it from your existing EVDRE reports to this, but with certain EV formulas which are created in your 7.5 which are not supported in 10, those has to be recreated in the 10 manually. There is no other options. Ganesh, there will not be any presentation like overall picture from ECC to BPC in BW. There will not be nothing like that. From ECC to BW, as we discussed in our demo class also clearly, it is the normal BW consultant job. Once the data is available in BW, we will pull it into the BPC system. So each client will have a different requirement. So at that point of time, based on the data we are bringing into the BPC system, we will maintain transformations and conversions through data load functionality. Dinesh is having a question. Do you recommend to wait 10.1 stabilizers or go with 10? Dinesh, I cannot say because there are a lot of factors that will be involved when client is taking a decision. As far as feedback I am getting from different clients when we go for RFP presentations and all, the first thing is for sake of BPC, they don't want to invest on HANA if they are not having HANA database. And for 10.1, there is no clarity that SAP is going to integrate the consolidation also with planning or not. So still it is a gray area and nobody knows. So if client is having a plans to go for consolidation also in future, then you cannot go with 10.1. And right now 10.1 is not stabilized. So nobody knows what are all the implementation challenges you will be getting and how far you will get the support. And there are very, very less consultants who know about 10.1 thoroughly also. Even they know little bit because SAP even has not released a formal documentation on 10.1 also till now. So depending upon the challenges, based on that, if the client is ready to go ahead with that, we can go ahead. We don't have any other choice also. Ganesh is having a question. Do we have real-time data pull functionality? What is real-time data pull functionality, Ganesh? I did not understand. Yeah, Dinesh, as I said, if client is having HANA, but still one of the consideration is consolidation, then we cannot, at present we cannot go for 10.1. Later on we don't know, but at presentation is we cannot go. Ganesh, as I said, for BPC 10.0, whether your backend is HANA database or your normal BW database, will be taking only month-end data. Real-time data is nowhere required for BPC system. It is for only your BW reporting you will take real-time data. When I am planning, I don't require to have each material wise or each PO wise, or if you can take each what you can call document wise. I don't want the data. I want for the January month, for this particular GL account, what is the total value. So nobody, whether in planning or consolidation, takes the real-time data like how you do for PW system. It's always on a periodic basis. So I don't exactly know what you are asking for real-time update. Because for BPC is concerned, there is nothing required to have a real-time updation. It is not our transaction system. Dinesh, I don't have any idea about BPAS on HANA. Okay, no problem, Dinesh. Any other questions from anyone? No problem, Ganesh. Okay. Then we'll wrap up the session for today, and we'll meet in our next class. I'll try to contact this basis team and I'll tell the issue which we are facing. If we are going through one of the RDPs, we are getting lag, and if we are going through another RDP, we are having struck. I'll talk to them, and we'll try to resolve these issues by next class, and then we can see that whatever the advanced features with respect to reporting clearly. And we will cover today's topic, what we discussed also, in our next class, so that everyone will be able to understand in a sequential way. Thank you, everyone.